What's up, YouTube? I just wanted to give a little tip on these Boulder tire deflators and tell you why I almost returned them, but I didn't. And I'll show you one little trick that hopefully you can use, and I think you'll enjoy the product a lot better if you do this one little trick. So what I was doing is I was actually using a bicycle tire to set these, and I just have it hanging from the ceiling in my garage here, so it's, you know, nice and chest level, easy to work on. But anyway, I was doing that because I was doing a bunch of trials. I wanted to see how accurate these tire deflators were. And I might as well just jump straight to the data here. So what I found, and hopefully you can see this. So I had 4 tire deflators. These are the tire deflators I'm talking about, by the way. Boulder Tools tire deflators. 4 tire deflators, and I did 5 trial runs after I got them set at about the PSI I wanted. I was shooting for 25 PSI. So I'm not going to go through how to set up the pressure. There's a lot of other good videos out there on how to do that, but this is just a little trick. I think you'll enjoy the product a lot better if you do this. Anyway, 1 through 5 trials. You have an average, a range, and a standard deviation. And what I noticed was that number 4 was significantly better than the other ones. If you look, the standard deviation is less than half of the other ones, and the range is 1.5, where the range here is 6, 5, and 5. So I was like, huh, why is number 4 so much different? Well, I remember when I first opened these, see I have them numbered here. When I first opened these, number 4, which, come on, focus. Number 4, it doesn't matter if you can see that or not really, it's just numbered. There you go. So number 4, and I have 25 written there for the PSI. Number 4 was weird. It was, if I put it on here, it wouldn't automatically start letting pressure out until I pulled the little knob here. So I have this set at about 25 PSI, and there's 40 PSI in a tire. So normally with this screwed on, this should be deflating already, but it's not. And it only happens with this one where you actually have to pull it out to get it started. And then once it's started, you'll notice that that one stopped actually pretty quick. It was a very abrupt stop, which I kind of like. Some of the other ones I feel like kind of have a tail where they'll slow down and they'll get really slow before they actually stop. Where this one actually stops pretty abruptly. So I thought that there was an issue with this one when I first started, but I actually kind of like this one the most, if that makes any sense at all. So what I did was I took this one apart. Before I even did any of this data, I took this one apart and I put some WD-40 on the O-ring that's inside of here. And I was like, after I did all this data, I thought to myself, well, number 4 is quite a bit better than the rest of them, and I'm wondering if lubricating that O-ring inside of there had anything to do with it. So stand by here for 1 second and I will show you the data. So trial number 2, I didn't redo 4, but 1 through 3, I lubricated that O-ring, and look at the difference that made. It went from a standard deviation of 2 to 0.57 with a range of 1.5, a range of 1.5, a range of 1, versus 5, 5, and 6. So just by simply taking this apart, taking off that little lock washer right there, unscrewing this all the way, pulling out this pin, there's a little O-ring inside of there, lubricating that O-ring with some WD-40, I got significantly better results than I did right out of the box. Anyway, hopefully this helps you with your tire deflators, because I wasn't really happy with them. You know, with the range of 6, that's not that good. But now that I lubricated that O-ring, and you know, I'm getting a range of 1.5 PSI, I think I'm gonna keep them. I think I'm happy with that. Especially for the price. They're not expensive. There's much more expensive ones out there, but I think for the price, That'll do me just fine. Another thing, I mentioned I was using a bike tire to set these. Huge time saver. And it's also a much more abrupt end. You can definitely tell when it stops, where on, you know, if I'm using my truck, it's hard to even tell when it stops, because it just, you know, it just goes forever, kind of at a slow pace until it stops. Where with the bike tire, I think because there's a tube in there and it's just a lot less volume, it's an abrupt stop and you can really tell when it stops. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope this helps.